So we're out here today working on a 2.5 ton heat pump Ameristar that was installed last June. So it's just a month or two over, a year old. And the problem that we're running into is we just can't build enough suction pressure. We can't get the suction pressure to suck down much below 60, which means in layman's terms that it's literally got about a 7 degree to 6.5 degree maybe temperature split between what it's drawing in and what it's putting out. We did an inspection on the ductwork and we did a static test, and there is no problem on either one. It was suggested that we attempt to slow down the fan motor. Well, when we installed it, we didn't slow down the fan motor, but tech support seems to think that that's going to work. So one of the things that we did is we removed the cover panels to simulate no air across the coil, which would simulate the same thing as if we were to use a lower speed. In fact, no speed. And nothing that we did helped. It just stayed at the same temperature. We couldn't get the vapor sat to be less than 65. So we're still kind of perplexed here. On this unit, so far, we have replaced the evaporative coil, which the evaporative coil has a built-in metering device, and we could not change that. It's a brass fitting setup, unlike anything that you would typically see in a unit today, because usually the metering device would be changeable on any unit that we would put in. In this case, not so much, not able to access it. So we put in an all-new evaporative coil, figuring that the metering device was bad, and that didn't change anything. In fact, the gauges read exactly the same as they were here. And then we put in a new compressor, figuring, hey, maybe it's just that the compressor won't suck down. Well, that didn't solve the problem either. Then we went out and we got a new reversing valve, figuring, hey, maybe there's some blow-by. But normally when you've got blow-by or suction passed on the reversing valve, there's a constant and consistent hissing. Well, we didn't have any of that going on. And in fact, this unit runs like a champ. It runs perfect. It's quiet. It's just beautiful. It sounds beautiful. The only thing that's wrong is the suction. We can't get enough suction. Can't get enough vapor in the system in order to create that cold coil for the air to blow across. So we're back out here on this Ameristar package unit heat pump. We have been struggling with it. We replaced the evaporative coil, the reversing valve, and the compressor. Actually replaced the compressor, then the reversing valve. Still no solution. We had a 60 degree, 65 was the coldest we could get the vapor saturation, and now we're at about 42, and it seems to be dropping. We were at 44 a few minutes ago, 45 a few minutes ago, so it seems to be dropping. Ambient is 94 on this roof, and we're running about 18 over ambient on the high side. And the solution was to install an aftermarket thermostatic expansion valve, something we thought about doing before we started doing anything, for that matter, before we started to do the coil, then the compressor, then anything else. So this ends up being the solution. The thermostatic expansion valve did the trick. The TXV has got us right at perfect. Before we couldn't suck down a full 5.5 pounds of refrigerant. We actually able to get 5 full pounds of refrigerant in it. So, yep, that's how you solve this problem. If you have an Ameristar that doesn't have suction pressure, this is the only solution, not just all the part change out. So skip all that, guys. Tim, is that coil, is that line set cold?
See.
That is Chilly Willy in there. So awesome.